Hello. To begin with, let me thank TEDx for this opportunity, and I hope to stimulate a few of your gray cells in the brain over the next quarter of an hour. Change is the only constant. All of us have heard about this, most of us agree with it, and all of us resist it. Irrespective of what we do, we need to be prepared to change, to survive, and also survive to change. Change is all around us. As the saying goes, it is not the strongest or the most intelligent who survive, but those who can best manage change that survive. Startups is the new in thing, and thousands of startups have evolved around the world. And I'm sure some of you are inclined towards the startup culture. What is the startup culture? As I understand, from my young successful entrepreneur son, it is a creative, non-rigid and passion-driven culture and is pretty popular among the millennials. Is this culture restricted to the millennials? Is there an age limit? Well, listen to this real life story. The story is of a sweet 94-year-old Chandigarh woman. It is about Mrs. Kaur, a 94-year-old lady in Chandigarh. As a housemaker, Mrs. Kaur was always passionate about cooking and feeding people. She was happy in the role, but no one asked her about her own desires. Finally, at the age of 90, during a conversation with her daughter, Mrs. Kaur expressed the desire to start something on her own because she didn't want to sit idle at home. She started off by making 5 kilos of a sweet to sell. She set up a stall at a local weekend market in Chandigarh, and in 2016, everything that she put up for sale was sold within an hour. For the next 4 years, she continued to sell the sweet, pickles, and other things in Chandigarh, which got her featured in the local media. When the pandemic hit, she found a silver lining in it. With the help of her grandchildren, she was able to streamline her production and scale it up. Due to the lockdown and fears concerning the virus, a lot of people wanted to order home-cooked food, and she started a delivery service. Today, they receive about 70% of the orders through social media and 30% through word of mouth. Last year, the famous industrialist, Mr. Anand Mahindra, picked up an article on her and tweeted her as the Entrepreneur of the Year. She is truly an entrepreneur, and age is only a number. Truly inspiring. Ideas, dreams, and aspirations do not come with an expiry date, and there is no ideal time to pursue them. No individual should ever give up. If at the age of 90 she was able to, each one of us must be convinced about our ability to chase our dreams and reach our goals. Having spoken about Mrs. Kaur, I would like to share some of the personal experiences that I had in life. In my younger days, I was a cricketer and played Ranji Trophy for Hyderabad. I was fully into cricket and neglected my studies. I barely managed to pass. With difficulty, I got into medicine. Having got into medicine, I quickly realized that these were two full-time jobs, either cricket or medicine, and I had to give up one. I had to change from cricket to medicine. And I did. I left cricket, gave up cricket completely, and took up medicine seriously, and here I am today. So the decision to change at that point of time in my young days did make a difference in my life. And once I finished my MBBS, I wanted to do orthopedics because that was the glamorous subject at that point of time. But my father wanted me to do anesthesiology, as he believed that as an anesthesiologist, I would be involved with more specialties and not just be restricted to orthopedics. There was a lot of discussion, and I had to change my thought process from orthopedics to anesthesiology. And I did. Although there was a resistance, I did make the decision. And looking backward, I'm really happy I made the decision, because anesthesiology is one subject which gives scope for a lot of man management processes and systems which I have benefited in the later part of my life. The next story is about my dad's hospital. He had one of the oldest hospitals in Hyderabad, a 150-bedded nursing home, and it was always thought that I would finish my studies and come back and take over the hospital from him. Just as I was able to settle down in the dad's hospital, I got a call from Dr. Reddy, chairman of Apollo Hospitals, asking me to join him. I was not too convinced, because here I was running my own hospital and I had an invite to join Apollo Hospitals. But Dr. Reddy came and told me, if you continue to work in your hospital for your lifetime, you would only be able to impact the community around you. If you come and join Apollo, I have plans to go around the country and worldwide, and you will have an opportunity to impact people across the country and the world. That struck me, and I changed my mind. I moved away from the father's hospital, joined Apollo, and the rest is history. And I think, again looking back, this was a very important change that I made in my life. In 2016, I was diagnosed to be having leukemia. Anybody else would have taken that negatively, but for me, I had the support of the organization that I was working for, that's the Apollo Hospitals, the friends, the family, and I managed the next 9 months of intense treatment, and I recovered completely. At that point of time, I was immensely moved by the love and affection showed to me by everybody around me. So I wanted to give back something to the community and to all those who cared for me. And I sat down and thought, what were the things which would come in the way? And I quickly realized that my lifestyle was the biggest challenge. I was a severe diabetic, a severe hypertensive. I was grossly overweight and had all the bad habits that one could have, like chewing tobacco and stuff like that. So then I realized that if I had to give back something to the community and to the people I love, I needed to survive. So I changed my lifestyle. I changed my lifestyle completely. I moved from unhealthy eating to healthy eating, continuous and regular exercise for an hour or 90 minutes every day, sleep early, wake up early, no junk food, gave up on my tobacco chewing, and was very, very conscious about losing weight. What started off as 120 kgs, I am today 61 kgs, and that's a huge change for me, not just in terms of weight, but I feel much more active, much more energetic, and I feel that I am able to contribute a lot more to the organization, to the work, to people who work with me, and to the community in general. So that's another huge change which I could narrate to you. in terms of change being the reason to survive and survival being the reason to change. Life is about experiences and learning from them. I did learn valuable lessons through my experiences, and my mantra for change is the acronym PIN. P standing for perseverance, I standing for innovation, and N standing for nurturing innovation and change. It is important to understand that success is not the only end result of change. Bill Gates once famously said, "Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking that they don't need to change further." It is therefore critical not to rest on your laurels. Life is not a marathon. It is one sprint after another. Irrespective of what stage of life you are in, be prepared to change, to survive, and survive to change. Thank you very much.